Two recent developments make it all the more important for those of us who understand the value, indeed the social imperative to reduce excessive military spending to increase our efforts. First, the Congress is facing a very serious choice, particularly in the House of Representatives. The budget put forward by Paul Ryan, which I'm taping this on Wednesday. I think they're going to have voted on it by the time this meeting takes place at you're at. It incredibly calls for hundreds of billions of dollars in military spending over what is now called for in the law, and a larger amount of hundreds of billions of dollars in reductions in quality of life programs. What could be less reflective of the values of this society or of our need to deal with quality of life issues than Ryan's proposal to make substantial cuts in Pell Grants, money that goes to the lowest income people to go to college, and instead to bump up the military. You know, if we are serious about inequality as a country, there are both longer-term and shorter-term responses. The shorter-term response is to deal with people who are in need now, like unemployment. But longer-term, getting the chance to have a first-rate higher education through community colleges and public universities, among other places, and private universities, is absolutely essential. And what Ryan is doing, of course, repudiates any notion that the people who vote for that budget or who voted for it care about inequality. This is the time to insist that this sort of transfer of a negative sort is just a very bad idea. On our side is that public opinion is still with us. What's become clear now is there is a fight within the Republican Party, which had heretofore been consistently the big pro-military spending faction. There are people there who are ready to cut. There's a fight. Rand Paul is being attacked because he is not willing to intervene enough. He's backed away a little from that. But this is the best political situation we've seen. That does lead me to the other development. The terribly destructive behavior of Vladimir Putin is being used by some as an argument to reverse this understanding that we are overspending militarily. What Putin is doing is deplorable, especially if he were to move in any way against Ukraine proper as opposed to just the Crimea. He's already exercising pressure there. Obviously, we need to stand up, but what's interesting is that no one is proposing that we use our military. The notion that, this is a reason for us to increase the military is fallacious. Our military is already far superior to what Russia has. After the Soviet Union collapsed, of course, it was superior even to the Soviet Union, as they have now acknowledged. But no one is arguing that we would be intervening militarily on Russia's border in this sort of a situation. The issue is to put economic sanctions on, which I support. We want to try and get our European allies to do the same. But there is no military solution to this. And if it did become a military conflagration, which no one is advocating, yes, we have total superiority. So the notion that we could reduce our military never was grounded on people thinking that Vladimir Putin was the wonderful man that George W. Bush said he was. It is based on a realistic assessment of what threats there are, what needs there are, and this continues to be the situation, that America is far overextended militarily, that the American people have shown that they are in no mood to support the kind of interventions that led to such extraordinary expenses. It's very clear you couldn't pull off an Iraq today. Even if Dick Cheney somehow managed to slip into the presidency, he would be constrained. The super hawks like John McCain and Lindsey Graham are frustrated. Of course, what's interesting to me is that they continue to talk about the need to cut the deficit while advocating the most extraordinary measures to extend it. But the American people do understand what our national security needs really are. They understand what the limitations are of America's military intervention into socially troubled spots. And the situation remains as it has been. This is a time when the American people are ready to vote for the reductions in the military spending that are necessary if we're to maintain our quality of life. And let me just close by saying I think Paul Ryan has done us a favor. I cannot imagine many places in America where the notion of continuing increasing the level of American military spending on a global basis is a more desirable objective than Pell Grants for lower-income people so they can get an education.